Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast. For those of you who are new, my name is Matt. I am one of your two glorious hosts. The other one, with me as always, my scuba diving, drunken, IPA drinking buddy, Mysterious Mike Talent.
Hey, I don't think I'm drunk right now. That's a terrible assumption. But I am scuba diving, and I just recently went scuba diving, so I'll take it. Mike Talent. Woo!
Hey, I never said you were drunk right now. You were drunken.
Ah, okay. All right. I misheard you. I misheard you.
I meant to say IPA drinking instead of, but it didn't work. So.
Okay.
All right, so Mike, what movie are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about Stuber.
So, does that mean there's like another movie that's going to come out with like based on Lift?
Yeah, it's going to be called Stalift.
Stalift.
Yeah.
That sounds like Spliff.
I don't know.
Not this podcast.
I don't know, man, because like this one they just put ST in front of Uber, so I was doing the same thing for Lyft. So it's Stalift?
Stalift?
Stylift? I don't know.
Styles?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's go with what you do know. Mike, give us the rundown for Stuber.
All right. So Stuber is directed by Michael Dowsey. Writer is Tripper Clancy. It's starring Dave Bautista, Camille Nanjiani, Mira Sorvino, Natalie Morales, and I'm going to screw this one up, but this character's awesome. Iko Uwais. I wish he was used more in this movie, but I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh yeah, dude. We need to discuss the one scene that he's in. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the summary of the movie is that detective recruits his Uber driver into an unexpected night of adventure.
All right, Mike. So do your best not to reveal one of the biggest spoilers of this film that you get introduced to like right off the bat, which explains why he's using an Uber. So let's try and hold out on that.
Okay. All right.
But let's start with Iko, because he's from The Raid, right?
Yes, he is.
And that scene is one of the most depressing scenes of the entire film for me. Not the scene itself, the way they shot it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, tight, you don't even see what's going on, you don't get to see. And I mean, Dave Bautista, come on, he knows how to fight.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing, man. I don't know.
Such a letdown.
This is the second movie that this guy was in, also in Mile 22, where he's like not utilized. I guess in Mile 22 he was more utilized than this, but it just I don't know. Matt, do you remember when we reviewed Mile 22?
Don't remind me.
It's like, I know you haven't. Have you seen The Raid now? You said it was...
No, I have not. I need to. I need to free up some time. Can we talk to the sun and extend our days by like 8 hours?
No.
I would like to have a longer day, please,
yeah,
so I can watch more movies.
Okay. Well, I would like a longer day as well, but I don't think we're going to get one. But I guess with that, Matt, in longer days... what are you drinking?
Well, Mike, I am drinking a trusty old cerveza that is cheap and I can get lots of. Miller High Life.
Nice. Nice, man. Nothing wrong with the High Life. It's a champagne.
The next level is I'm going to be switching to 40s. But the problem with the 40s is, yes, they're cheap, but you know, I want to drink the whole thing. and I can't because, I got to be cheap. And then it'll go flat in the fridge, so I'll be forced to drink the whole thing. So, Miller High Life is like the closest I can get.
Yeah, and if you drink a 40 all at once, that malt liquor, whew, does a number on you.
Exactly. You know what? I take that back. Miller High Life is not the closest I can get. It's the closest I physically want to get. I could always go down to the Beast, but that's bad. That's real bad. I don't wish anyone to drink that beer.
Dude, you just got to get Beast Ice.
No, that's even worse.
I don't even know if they still sell Beast Ice. Do they still sell Milwaukee's Best Ice?
I don't know, dude. I would think so, but I don't know. It's not like I'm going to seek that beer out. I mean, we should do that. We should have a future podcast where we find the most random shitty beer we can find in a store.
Yeah, try and get like that Budweiser Ice or
the Bud Ice that tastes like garbage, but the alcohol content on that was great. I remember a few times when we were younger, not going to disclose the age, where we seeked out Bud Ice. You remember that?
I of course remember that, and it had this bottle that had like little ice, like
it looked like an ice
features,
like ice cube features. Yep. And what we only got do we get a 12-pack or do we just get a 6-pack?
I think with Budweiser Ice, you only need a 6-pack.
Well, and that's the thing I was saying. We split like a 6-pack, and both of us were feeling just fine after it.
Yeah, that's true. 36 ounces to freedom.
Yeah. All right, so Mike, what IPA are you drinking today?
So I am drinking a Tropical Torpedo IPA from Sierra Nevada.
See, I don't even think you could handle getting a beer today that is not an IPA. Like, if you got a Milwaukee's Best, you would just throw up.
I think I could. I think one of my old favorites, and I don't know why I like this beer so much, is Old E. I like the flavor.
Dude. Wow. Ouch. That's nasty.
Well, the one 40 that, I mean, not that we need to get too deep into this. The one that I can't stand anymore is Steel Reserve.
Yeah, dude, Steel Reserve is bad.
It does taste like steel.
Another one that I've never ever been fond of, I've tried many times, is Mickey's.
Oh, that one's actually, to me, the light one, the easygoing one.
No, I didn't say anything about it being heavy. I just really don't like the flavor of it. I think Mickey's is really gross.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, to this day, Old E is still okay for me. Although I haven't had it in several years, but the last time I had it, which wasn't as long ago as you'd think, I
it was just last week. It was last Tuesday. It's OE Tuesday.
Yeah. There's a discount on OEs on Tuesday. They go from $2.30 to $2.10.
Dude, that's where it's at, man. You got to save that 20 cents.
Yep, you know it.
In your neck of the woods, they're not even 40s, are they? Like, they have some kind of weird-ass law where it can't be a 40. It has to be lower ounce.
Yeah, it's 32s, but you can get multiple 32s, so it's dumb.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
They didn't want the negative connotation of the 40 ounces. But you can get 64 ounces as long as it's two different drinks.
That's fine.
Yeah,
then
totally
you just
fine.
need 2 straws.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so let's do this. If someone actually emails us, because I physically am trying to give away a movie and no one will email us. Email us with the crappy beer recommendations you have for Mike and I.
Ooh, man, dude, that's a scary proposition. All right.
I never said I was going to buy it, but they can recommend it.
All right.
For a future upcoming episode of the Real Film Nerds podcast where we find the shittiest beer we can find.
Oof, I'm a little bit worried about it.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm going to drink it. I'm going to find it, though.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right, I think that'll be fun. All right, so Stuber. It was a movie?
Stuber, it was a movie. Yeah.
I thought it was better than it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more cheesy, and it wasn't. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess, my expectations were set pretty low. And I went and saw this movie, and I was like, whatever, we'll see what it was. And it was actually pretty funny. Now, there's some jokes, or quite a few jokes that kind of fall flat, but there's so many that come kind of rapid fire and stuff. I also enjoyed the fact that not all the funny parts were shown in the trailer. Now, there's a couple things in the trailer, but it's not like... It's definitely a good trailer to, give you an idea of what's happening in the movie, but you don't get all the jokes at once, because I feel like this might have been that kind of movie where all the funny parts were in that trailer and you saw everything. But no, this one was surprisingly pretty funny. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, whoever edited this trailer should definitely edit more comedic film trailers in the future. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it was a it's a popcorn film. Like, this is not going to win anything or anything, but it was entertaining and it was fun. And that's pretty much what I wanted it to be, and they did exactly that. Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Again, it's nothing super crazy, but for a lazy Sunday afternoon, it is definitely well worth a watch, especially if you need to lift your spirits.
Yeah. It was good. It's got some relationship stuff in it, but like, it's not too like preachy, I guess. Like, it just the main characters and what's going on in their lives, pretty much. But it wasn't like super forceful, so I like that. I like the flow of the movie. I like pretty much everything about it. It's cool.
What do you mean by preachy? Like, are you talking about the relationship between Dave Bautista's character and his daughter? Or are you talking about the relationship between Kumail Nanjiani and his friend?
Well,
or
like,
both.
I guess Kumail Nanjiani and his friend, the relationship stuff, like, he was just talking about it and trying to figure out what was going on. And there was actually a scene in a adult establishment that I actually kind of liked, even though it was a little awkward. And it was supposed to be awkward, but I kind of liked that scene. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, dude. And the gentleman that was the guy he was talking to?
Yes.
He's from the show on, is it Showtime? It's on Netflix as well, but I think it's a Showtime show. He's one of the big characters in there, and he even like moonlights as like not so much a male stripper, but like I guess he was a male stripper. He was a bartender in like a gay strip club where he wear like a Speedo. And that's straight up where they had that character, come from. You could just tell in the film.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I thought his character was like, at first it was a little weird, but then I was like, he's actually pretty genuine. Like,
oh God. And then the background scene when he's doing the FaceTime, like, seriously, Mike, not to get too off topic. Have you ever called anyone on FaceTime or Skype or whatever when you're on your cell phone and in places? Ever?
No.
Yeah. The only time I have ever done that is when it like was first coming out and it was kind of a gimmick. I would like call my mom or call my sister or whatever. But I've never been like, oh, well, I'm sitting at a bar and I'm going to FaceTime someone. I've never seen anyone do it. I've personally never done it. It's just, I don't know. That's kind of weird. And that's how he like kept calling, or this girl kept calling him like the whole time.
Yeah, I only FaceTime occasionally with my wife, like when I'm on travel. I feel like that's the perfect use case for it. Like when you're away, or like let's say you had like kids or like we've done it for like Christmas where we're opening packages and stuff, like so you can share it with like the family. But
yeah,
like
but I'm sure you're
that's
probably
it.
doing that on like a computer or something, right? Not on like your phone.
No, we're doing it on the phone. The phone's record a phone or the iPad, but like
Yeah.
yeah.
iPad's closer to like a computer, if you ask me.
But that's it. Like, that's the major things. Like, I feel like that's what FaceTime's for. I feel like it's the best use case for it or reason to use it is, you know, to keep up with, like, family and be able to have, like, your like kids be able to know their grandparents like faces and all that stuff because they see them all the time, like you know, through the FaceTime or Skype or whatever. So,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like you're not going to call me randomly on a Tuesday afternoon through FaceTime to be like, "Hey, what's up, dude?"
no, never.
And that's kind of what's going on here. But she's also being, you know, super moody and depressed and emotional and drunk.
Right, because this movie essentially takes place over what, about 36 hours, something like that.
I don't even know if it's that long.
Maybe
Might only be
24.
Maybe it's 36. Because 36 would be a day and a half, and I don't think it was that long. Maybe it was.
So maybe 24 hours.
Well, except for the first part. The first part is clearly like 6 months ago or something.
Oh, right. Yes, the first part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also applaud the trailer people for not letting us know what the reason that the main character is taking the Uber. Because at first you're like, why is this guy taking an Uber places? But it makes a lot more sense once you watch the movie, and I don't want to give that away.
No, we'll give it away in spoilers, but we're not going to give it away yet until, Mike, you can tell me how Stuber, starring Dave Bautista, a.k.a. Drax, relates to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Ooh, well, Matt, for once I was super excited I didn't have to look very hard because, like you just said, Drax, Dave Bautista, is starring in this movie, and he's in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. So, that was an easy tie-in, and I applaud that because the last few have been hard. So
That's what she said?
yes, maybe.
Yes, maybe. Okay, well, if you want to not have Stuber spoiled, go ahead and click this bad boy off because we are going to spoil it starting right now.
All right, so bottom line, I do recommend watching this movie, but you don't need to see it in the theater. But it is kind of fun.
I forgot to do that, before the MCU.
Yeah. But it is kind of fun to watch this movie. Like it's a fun movie. There's nothing special about it, but it's not bad and it's entertaining. There's some dumb stuff in it, but there's a lot of good jokes, like pretty smart jokes on some stuff. And I think Camille Nagiami really adds a lot of his comedic style to it, and he's pretty quick and very smart.
All right, then. If you want to see something that's actually good, unlike The Lion King, go ahead and watch Stuber this week. Don't waste your money on The Lion King like everybody already is doing.
Didn't The Lion King make like $180 million this weekend?
Well, I went to the theater yesterday and watched Spider-Man for the second time with a friend, and they had like almost all the theaters were Lion King, and they were all sold out. It was ridiculous. And people just, I hate to call our current moviegoers in this world where there's so much information and so many movies and so many good movies out there sheep, but that's straight up what it is.
Yeah, man. 185 million, and then I think they said in-game also supposedly just eclipsed Avatar.
Yeah, Dance with Smurfs. Mm-hmm.
To be the highest grossing ever.
Yep. Well, and the sad thing about Lion King 2 is it's directed by one of my favorite directors / actors. Oh, great! I had his
John
name,
Favreau.
And now it went away. Yeah, John
Favreau, and he also started the MCU that we talk about all the time.
And he was also
Iron
in
Man
Spider-Man.
1.
Yeah.
Yes, he is in Spider-Man, and he's in a couple of the Iron Mans, right? Because he's
in a bunch of the movies. He makes appearances in Infinity War and Endgame, and yeah, he's in every single Iron Man movie at least, a little bit. He's in both Spider-Man movies. He funny thing is too, he wrote in Happy as being Tony Stark's assistant just kind of for the hell of it. And now he's been in more films, I think, than Tony Stark, because he's in all these other properties related to the MCU. So that's pretty funny. He never thought it was going to blow up like it has. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when he made Iron Man, it wasn't owned by Disney yet, Marvel, and it was really Marvel's last hoorah. And if it didn't do well, they were going to go out of business. So it's kind of crazy. He basically saved Marvel.
Depends which division of Marvel you're talking about, but yeah. I mean, the true thing that really saved Marvel in the late 90s was them selling off all of their properties is what really saved them. But Iron Man helped bring the film side back into prominence. Like, Marvel as a company was going to go completely away in the 90s until they started selling stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, even though we didn't get very great movies or anything out of it, at least Marvel was able to survive. And
yeah, they sold Spider-Man and they sold X-Men, are the two biggest. They sold the Fantastic Four universe, and they sold the rights to a lot of characters, a lot of brands, a lot of titles, and that gave them enough money to keep them going. And now it's insanity. The Marvel world is absolute insanity, including the comics. DC is struggling in the comic book world big time. And they're cutting their titles. Well, actually, what's interesting, they're not struggling, but their numbers are lower than they used to be. DC typically sells more books than Marvel. And DC has cut their numbers of books that they're publishing in half. And Marvel is just increasing. Like, they're doing more and more and more. And they just sell a little bit of a lot of books. It's weird. I don't get it. They have two completely different strategies.
interesting.
So, anyways, all right. Well, I'll get back on topic. Stuber. I agree with Mike. I think it's fun. I think if you don't want to waste your money on Lion King and you want to see something fun, and it is rated R, I had to tell that to some family members that wanted to bring young nephews. It is rated R. It's not like a bad rated R, but there's violence and there's swearing and sexual innuendos and things like that. So
yeah, I think it's I'd say most of it's language, and then there's a little. I mean, there's violence. I didn't think anything was too crazy.
No, I didn't think it was too bad, but it was definitely more graphic, especially the one scene at the vet office.
All right, yeah, that's the most graphic scene for sure.
Right, and it wasn't that bad. It definitely is R. In the realm of R, though, but it's just for young kids. It's not good. So, but I liked it. I liked Stuber a lot. I thought it was fun. And if you just have to go see a movie in the theaters, I highly recommend it. It was good. Or go see Spider-Man again. That's what I did.
Nice. Well, with that, Matt, do you want to start spoiling stuff now?
Yeah, since we're, way past where I warned people that we were spoiling stuff. So now we'll really spoil it. Go ahead, Mike. I know you were itching to talk about the thing I alluded to in the beginning and the thing you alluded to at the middle.
All right, so the reason that Dave Bautista's character is taking an Uber is because he has just had LASIK surgery. And he can't quite see yet, and he shouldn't actually be doing anything that he's doing, but there's this hot tip, and he's got to go do it right now, and it makes a lot of sense if you've seen the very beginning of the movie, which I won't get into, but his partner doesn't make it.
It was a case that he'd been working a long time. What they say, like 2 years? Because he was working it with his partner before she even was killed.
Yes. And that, to me, made the movie a lot better because now I understood why he was doing this. Because in the trailer, I'm like, why is a cop taking an Uber? And, like, why is it so, like, weird? And now it makes a lot of sense. And then, like, there's a point where he can't see. So when he requested his Uber, he accidentally put on, like, Uber Pool. And that means where you can like carpool with other people heading in the same area. And they like pick up like two, I don't know, like college age women. I don't know.
Go with that.
Young women.
Yeah.
And he tells them to get out of the car and like the Uber driver Stu is like, what are you doing? You're killing me. And he's really worried about his rating, of course, because as an Uber driver, you're 5-star or anything less than a certain amount of stars, and you stop getting people, and all kinds of stuff happens. And he really he's gone to all kinds of effort to make this awesome experience. He has like all these things in his glove box and like all kinds of stuff, and his boss has to take out. His boss takes the Uber home and to work, I think, and it's actually Stu who gives him the ride. Like, it's weird.
Yeah. Well, and it's his boss, but not really his boss. But it is, but it isn't. He's the general manager,
store. Right?
Yeah, he inherited the store from his father, and the father's the one that made the store, and
Yeah, but I did like that. That helped the plot tremendously for me, and then the rest of the movie was actually pretty fun. Dave Bautista was pretty much just your stoic, tough guy, but Camille Nanjiani really helped make the movie pretty funny, and their chemistry was great.
Yeah, and the other underlying thing that's kind of interesting as well that goes along with it is his desire to have the 5-star rating constantly, and how he's bending over backwards to get the 5-star rating for nothing, for everything. He's like, here, you want this, you want this, you want this, all just to get a 5-star rating. He doesn't even like care about the money coming in or going out or whatever.
Yeah, it reminded me of a Black Mirror episode with a crazy character, this world or whatever for that particular Black Mirror. Woo!
Yeah,
nuts.
I was talking with my nephew last night. He was asking me which Black Mirror episode he thought was the scariest. I'm like, I haven't seen the latest season, but that was one of the ones I've referenced. It's not like scary as in it scares me. It's scary as in our world's going that way. But anyway, so what's interesting is how he's bending over backwards for these complete strangers to get his 5 stars. And it mirrors what he's trying to do with his friend / wannabe girlfriend. At least he wants her to be his girlfriend. So it kind of mirrors that, where he does anything for her. He does anything for his clients, and he's not getting anything in return.
Yeah, I think he's bending over backwards for this girl that he's had. They had like a one night stand thing, and he was hoping it would develop into more, and obviously she's not really into it, so it just, I don't know. It's kind of like he's trying to make something out of nothing, and it takes him a little while to get to that where he realizes that, and but it was pretty good. Like, I liked how that like progressed, and I like the different there's a lot of people like giving him feedback about his relationship, because he kind of shares it to everyone, and I feel like he kind of used Uber as a therapy. Like, he would just talk to people about stuff, and
yeah. Well,
so,
and one of the big things is that you have this other underlying plot point that's directly Kumail Nanjiani, other than, you know, being dragged around by this badass cop that can't see. You have this other underlying thing that's helping him emotionally, and this cop is like basically the polar opposite of him. And some of it rubs off on him at the end of the film, where he gets the confidence that he needs. He figures out what he truly wants. He starts standing up for himself. He basically grows a little bit of a pair of balls and stands up to her and says, you know, this isn't working. I'm being an idiot, kind of thing. And it shows, you know, there's a lot more to this film other than just the main plot. I mean, there's all those other little underlying side plots that really help develop the story that I liked.
Yeah, no, me too. Like this, I mean, I think, Matt, when you texted me, like, Stuber, like, you were trying to figure out if you should go to Stuber or what was the other movie?
We're not going to talk about it.
Okay, some other movie, doesn't matter. And,
you know what it was?
Yeah. And I was like, no, you should go to Stuber because it's actually not that bad. And I was like, it makes more sense once you watch the movie. Yeah. And I was referring to the thing with Dave Bautista's character, because when you see the trailer, you're like, what the hell, man? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. And when I saw the trailer, I was thinking it was maybe something like he had his license taken away, or he was on probation or something. You know, they've done like movies where their badges are taken away and, you know, stuff like that. But the whole, you know, him being blind definitely makes it a lot better. And there's a lot of gags that go along with it. A lot of gags.
Oh yeah. No, it was pretty funny.
Like when he does try to drive, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's some pretty good scenes in this movie. Like, it has funny moments. I'd say there's some stuff that's not 100% funny, and they tried to be funny and it wasn't, but like, for the most part, it's pretty good. It is pretty funny. Like, not all jokes are gonna land with everyone anyway, and this movie seems to know that, so they just kind of keep going, and I like that.
All right, Mike. Well, let's go ahead and jump into it. How many reels do you give Stuber?
All right, Matt, this might shock you, but I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 reels.
That doesn't shock me at all, because I genuinely think you enjoyed the movie.
I did. I liked it quite a bit. It was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be, and there's nothing, you know, amazing about this movie, but it was entertaining, and that's what I was excited about. It was entertaining. It was funny. I laughed. And, you know, the two main characters had a pretty good chemistry, and it was good. So,
yeah.
3 out of 5 reels for me.
Yeah. Well, I echo a lot of your sentiments. I give it 3.5 reels out of 5. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was fun. I definitely think it was worth going to the theater to see, just because there was nothing else out. If there's other things out, it's probably not worth it, because it doesn't do you any favors to see it on a big screen. The action is one of the letdowns for me. It's too tight. It's shot too tight. It's just, especially when you have people that really know how to fight, they shot it way too tight. There's too busy, too much going on. It should have been loosened up a little bit. Let us see them actually do their thing, you know. The comedy was great. I really enjoyed that. The cinematography was nothing special, but it wasn't anything terrible either. And then I applaud them on the runtime. It was an hour and a half. You know, it was a good, solid movie done in an hour and a half. And we don't get enough of those these days. They're all aiming for the 2-hour timestamp, and I just don't understand why.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half, and that was just fine. It was just, yeah, this was a surprise for me. It really was. Like, I went to this movie, I guess, expecting nothing, and was quite pleased with it.
Yeah, I didn't expect nothing. I just thought it was going to be kind of like a either really cheesy or goofy or not quite what I got.
Yeah, I didn't mention this earlier, but I really enjoyed the scene with Dave Bautista and the dog and the gangsters. And he was so upset with the gangsters because they had not fed the dog on purpose, but I think the dog ended up ingesting some drugs, and he was really upset at them.
Yeah, well, they forced the dog to, that's how they were trying to hide the heroin that they were selling.
Oh, he was so angry. And so I enjoyed that part because the dog was such like a sweetheart. It was just a nice dog.
Yeah. So, all right, Mike. Well, for our next pod, which we're not sure when we're gonna do it, much like last week. I mean, we're kind of going day by day. If both of us get too busy, we don't have time to record. We just record it next week. So, personally, I really don't want to do Lion King. I'm not even going to see it until next week, and even then, I might not get to see it at all for work. If there's an open seat, I'm going to pop in and sit down and watch it. So, don't look forward to that. But we have been contacted by I guess you'd say a production company?
Yeah, I think it's a production.
I think it's a production company. I know. I'm not sure if it's the director or I don't know. I would have to IMDb it, and I don't want to do that right now because I don't want to type it all in. But it's clearly not a huge movie. I believe it is out on demand, YouTube, Google, all those things. But they sent us a screener. They want us to talk about it, review it, let them know what we think. It is a film by the name of Chasing Molly, and it stars Kurt Angle and Felicia Day. And I'm not familiar with Kurt Angle. I've heard the name before, but I'm not super familiar with his work. But I am familiar with Felicia Day's work. She is a cosplayer. She has been on television shows. She's kind of a super nerd, much like myself. She's real big into the tech world. She dated Chris Hardwick for a while, which there's a whole controversy around that. But I think this is her first kind of role as a actor, I think. Like full on, like when she's been on TV, it's mostly been like just her as herself. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. I look forward to reviewing it, and it's fun to get contacted by different people to review stuff, and there's a lot of different unique content that we review. I feel like a lot of different groups don't acknowledge all the streaming media, and there's so much good content out there. So we are glad to review this new movie, Chasing Molly. It'll be interesting.
Okay, and, so after reading the emails, not to cut you off, the young lady that contacted me is the writer, producer, and stars as Molly. She's the one that emailed me directly.
Oh, awesome.
So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, man. So we're going to give them our honest review here on our next podcast, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. And there is, not to slam our very first screener, but there's no way it is as bad as that film. It's just not possible. That film was pretty freaking brutal, man.
It was really brutal, but
I mean, not to slam them, because I understand they put their heart and soul into that film, but it was a rough one, man. It was rough.
Yeah, it was.
So, all right. Well, Mike, you got anything else you want to add for our lovely listeners? I mean, other than the fact that they need to keep telling their other friends about it so that we can grow. We're up to, what would you say? We're averaging about 30 to 40 downloads a week?
Yeah.
Per new episode?
30 to 40 per week. And we would love to have like 100 per week. So, just tell your neighbors, your friends, anybody who likes film, give us a shot.
Yeah, they don't have to like us at all. They just have to like movies, film, and nerds and Marvel and... Did we say movies?
Yeah, I think we said movies, yeah.
Sometimes we talk about TV shows, like Mike and I were discussing it before we started recording. There's multiple TV shows that are coming out that we are both looking forward to. We had a plethora of announcements just the other day at Comic-Con. I mean, God, there's so much coming down the pike on that. Have you seen any of that news, Mike?
I have. I've watched some of the trailers. One of the ones that really was interesting for me was Top Gun.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it. Like, I love the first one, but man, it's been so many years. Like, I don't know. And like Tom Cruise is starting to show his age a little bit, and even though he's really tried hard not to. And I don't know. But I am kind of like some of the scenes that they show the launch of a plane off the deck of a carrier, like in a cool, like kind of like 360 view. And I was like, oh well, I'll go see it for that.
Yeah, yeah. They're putting cameras everywhere because you got to remember the original Top Gun came out in the mid 80s, right? It was like 80.
I think 82.
Was
man.
it that?
I think.
Oh yeah. Here you got a quiet keyboard. Go look it up.
All right,
but
just a second.
That one I'm looking forward to big time, especially since you could tell they actually let Tom Cruise fly an F-18, which is mind-boggling. But
86.
86. Okay, I was gonna say 85. I knew it was somewhere in there. But did you see all the Marvel announcements yesterday?
No, I didn't see those.
Oh, dude. All right. Marvel, and I knew this was coming because I think I even talked about it on the pod, that Marvel had a 3-hour long panel and they broke the internet for sure. We got a new Blade coming. We got Thor 4.
Oh.
They officially announced Thor 4. It's called Love and... See, now I'm going to have to go to Marvel on one of the social medias. All right, here. I'll pull it up. They announced a lot of the TV shows for Disney Plus, which a lot of us knew were coming. Like the Loki show, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, it just made a lot of that stuff official, but everybody knew those were coming. Everybody found out Thor 4 was coming. They made that announcement. It has a title, and they released who's going to be starring in it, which I am extremely excited about. It's called Thor Love and Thunder, and it's basically going to be hopefully the story of Natalie Portman's character, Jane Foster, from the comic books. In Thor Volume 4, she becomes Thor, and it sounds like that's what this movie's going to be.
Oh, interesting. And I know they got Taika Waititi, right?
Is going to direct it, and I think he's writing it as well. So, and they got Natalie Portman to sign on. Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth, those are the only ones that they've released, but I'm really looking forward to that. They officially announced the Eternals. We knew that. Falcon, Winter Soldier, we knew about that. Shang-Chi, we all knew about that. I don't know. I'm mixed on that one. WandaVision, we knew about that TV show coming to Disney Plus. Loki coming to Disney Plus. Doctor Strange, the Doctor Strange sequel is called Multiverse of Madness, and Marvel is touting it as the first horror MCU movie. So that might be real interesting.
Man, that could be fun for me.
And then there is the What If TV series. It's animated. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be really incredible. Here's one that caught me a little off guard. They announced a Hawkeye TV show, and the Hawkeye TV show, they're teasing with the logo from a comic book run of Hawkeye where they follow Hawkeye basically more as him as a dude living in New York and living in an apartment than as a superhero. And it is one of the best runs on Hawkeye ever. And the logo for the TV show is the logo from that comic book. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that's what they do. That would be great. Then they announced the Black Widow movie, which, of course, everybody knew about that. One I did not know is that David Harbour and Florence Pugh are both in it, which, wow, that's awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh was just in Midsommar.
And she did an incredible job. So I did not know those two were in there, which that's awesome. And last but not least, they teased that a Blade movie is coming. And the very last thing Kevin Feige said before he walked off stage is they have cast Mahershala Ali to play Blade.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And that's real interesting. I know a lot of people are upset because that discredits a lot of the Netflix shows, but personally, I don't think so. I think they just really wanted to have one of the best actors out there for Blade, because he's going to have to fill Wesley Snipes' shoes. I would have loved to have seen Wesley Snipes come back, but there's no way. He's too old. He is, man.
He is. He is. I love Wesley Snipes, but he is too old. I mean, just look at the Expendables. I don't know, 3 or 2, whatever one he's in. It might be 3. He's a little bit too old, but I love Wesley Snipes. But
Wesley Snipes is incredible. But I'm sorry, it's been what 25 years since the original Blade.
Damn, has it been that long?
Because it came out in the 90s.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, man. I think Blade came out in 90, maybe 99? I don't know. Hold on. Talk about things.
No, I just typed it. I'm going to have to cut it out. 98.
Okay.
So it's 21 years old. So I love Wesley Snipes. He will forever be Blade to me, and that's one of the official starts of what we now call the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though they don't consider it and they've never really have. But it helped bring all those other films, including Iron Man, to the forefront. And, because Blade is a superhero. Yes, he's a vampire killer. Yes, he's a vampire, but he is a superhero. He is from the Marvel Universe. So, I don't know. I mean, I love Wesley Snipes, but I mean, the dude was born in 1962. He would be a 56-year-old Blade, and it just would not work because he's a vampire. Yes, the vampire of Blade still ages, just very slowly because he is human. I don't think it would work, man. I don't. As much as I love Wesley Snipes.
Me too, man. Me too. I don't think it'd work. But I would really like Wesley Snipes to get some of that MCU money because, back in the day when he did Blade and stuff, he got paid, but he didn't get paid as well as they get paid now.
No, not like what they're getting paid now. Hell no.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe they'll have him do a cameo or something. I would hope. Because, I mean, seriously, he was incredible as Blade. He was incredible. I don't want to see anyone else play him, but if I had to pick, I would have picked Mahershala Ali as well. I mean, he was so good in Luke Cage. So good. He was an incredible villain in that.
Yeah, no, he's a good character. I'm just wondering if he can get to the physical stature, but it's all the stuff always surprises me because 6 months of training with a personal trainer and all kinds of protein and stuff and working out. A lot of these guys can change their complete bodies. I mean, Christian Bale is the ultimate example of all the stuff that he's done to change his form for whatever role he's doing. It's insane.
Yeah, I need to take notes.
Yeah, when he was in that movie where he's the machinist or whatever, and he got super skinny, or just the recent movie where he was
Vice. Where he's Dick Cheney, and he gained all that weight.
Dick Cheney, and he gained all that weight. Oh, dude, he's a madman. And then when he's Batman, he's ripped. Like, it's just like crazy.
Dude, seriously, Christian Bale is one of the most extreme when it comes to dedicating himself to his roles, especially physically. But I mean, look at the dude. He is going to go down as one of the best actors of our time. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He will.
Say what you will when he's off the camera, whatever. But on the camera, he's one of the best. He really is. So, anyways, we could sit here and talk about all this Comic-Con shit. But since we are, have a big influence by the MCU, I figured it'd be nice to share with our fans what is coming down the line. So.
Yeah. No, it's good.
So Disney Plus, gonna have to get it for sure. I think what I'm gonna do is Mike Talon over there can pay for it, and I will just steal his login.
Yeah. So this is gonna be fun. So for everybody listening, I'm going to be a first-time subscriber of Disney Plus, and so is I'm sure Matt. And I can't wait for it to crash, because what's gonna happen is when we all buy it and it launches on whatever day it is in November or whatever, it's not going to work. There's going to be way too many people trying to stream anything, and it's going to be very funny to me. But I imagine they'll end up crediting us or doing something. But yeah, it's going to crash, because it's going to be like half of America be like, okay. And they're going to sign up all at once. They've been teasing this and talking about this service for so long that everyone knows about it. And it's going to go bad.
Well, and all the shows that they're doing for it, man. I mean, I don't want to sound bad, but The Mandalorian, that alone right there is going to make me subscribe. I mean, I was going to subscribe before just based on, Jon Favreau's producing that one. He's not direct. He might have some directing in it, but I don't think so. He's mainly just doing the production of it. But the directors for it are a bunch of directors, well-known directors. Taika Waititi again. The actor they picked to play the Mandalorian is incredible. I'm really, really looking forward to that show. Really looking forward to it. I will get it just for that.
Yeah, it's just going to be fun, because it likely is not going to work its first week. That's my prediction. This is just me talking. I don't know anything. I have no connections, but I'm just anticipating based on historic performance that they're going to have a hard time.
So Amazon Web Services on the day Disney Plus launches is going to go down hard.
Well, AWS also runs Netflix, so they're going to be there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on.
Dude, everybody uses Amazon Web Services, man. So they host a lot of stuff.
Yes, they do. They do, for sure. But all right, man. I think
we've talked way too long. I know. But dude, Comic-Con, man, exciting. It was exciting.
Yeah. Matt, I'll also maybe give a little synopsis of Comic-Con, because one of my coworkers goes every year, and so I'll get a little inside info from him and see what he has to say, and maybe I'll tell that next week. But
that's the dream, man. That's the dream right there, is for us to come up with our Drowning Nerd production studio. I think that's what we're calling it. And then we can quit our day jobs and go to stuff like Comic-Con and do live reporting and be on panels and do all that stuff. That's the dream, right, Mike?
Yes, that is the dream. That'd be so much fun.
I know, dude, wouldn't it? That would be so cool. Someday. So tell your friends to subscribe and listen to our podcast.
Yes. Subscribe. Tell everyone.
Call up Trump. Let him know.
Yes. I guess with that, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you on our next pod.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.